What's good, y'all? It's your boy Havoc. Final round. It's going down. We got fight weekend. We got JoJo versus Haney tonight, and then tomorrow we got Tank versus Pitbull. But before we get into that, I got some news on the horizon, some things to talk about. I want to apologize. Haven't been able to come out with as much content as I would like to. I've been pretty busy. Been prepping this channel for 2022. I got some cool things coming up. And on top of that, I've been getting back in the gym, and I would say around the March to summer area, you're gonna see me start promoting some of my fight stuff, my career, in terms of boxing and MMA. So be on the lookout for that. But in terms of the channel, I will be starting a Patreon page. So in the next video and moving forward, or the video after that, look down below in the description. You'll find the link to the Patreon page. I'm gonna start doing some film studies of anything I want. I figured out if I do a Patreon page, the content won't get blocked. And if you guys have any requests, just comment down below and I'll do a fight breakdown. And if you have a VR headset, or you plan on investing one in the future, I'm gonna be doing some new interactive things with the channel in terms of fight breakdowns, film studies. So go and get a VR headset if you're really into boxing that much and you're interested in this channel. There's gonna be some fun stuff I do. I'm also gonna be doing some live online panels. I wanna get your opinions. I wanna break down fights together. I want your voice to be heard. And we're gonna be doing tournaments. If you're consistent on the panel, we're gonna be keeping track of your record of predictions, and there will be rewards for maybe making the correct predictions, or winning a tournament, or having the best resume in terms of making predictions. Lots of fun stuff. And feel free, look, guys don't have to donate anything, but if you get on my Patreon page, if you feel you wanna help build this channel and contribute, donate 50 cents, donate $1. All that money is going to be used to build this channel and give cool, new, interactive experiences to the boxing community and to help build it. And for the people who've been commenting down below, engaging with my channel, thank you very much. I will be remembering you guys in the near future and giving back to you, because I definitely appreciate it. But anyhow, let's get into it, man. We got JoJo versus Haney. This is... Look, man, we saw last week what happened. We cannot sleep on anybody, whether it be Pitbull or whether it be JoJo, and definitely not JoJo. JoJo has some good experience, and he has some experience against slick fighters like Fortuna and Farmer. Okay, now granted, both of them are southpaws. I gotta go look at JoJo's record and see if he has any slick orthodox fighters he's went up against, because Haney's gonna be orthodox. But nonetheless, that's some good experience he has. And in that Farmer fight where he got his eye gashed open early on, dude, I thought the ref was gonna stop it. I thought his corner might stop it. I thought that JoJo might mentally check out, but damn, he zoned in, he stayed calm, he stayed composed, and he won that fight, which was absolutely amazing against a real good, slick fighter like Farmer. Very impressive, and it says a lot about JoJo, and damn, props to his cut man for controlling that. How he won that with that freaking gash over his eye is beyond me. Very impressive. So JoJo's no slouch. And one of the things I notice about JoJo, it's like I constantly see this theme play out with him, the tortoise in the hare. And this is where Haney has to be very careful. He has to be careful in a different way than Teofimo, okay? For JoJo, he's one of these guys, may not be the biggest, fastest, strongest, but man, he has a way of coming on and crossing that finish line before you, okay, when you least expect it. Like I said, the tortoise and the hare. Haney's gonna be more talented, right? He's gonna have a lot of tools to work with, but if he gets in this fight and he lets his foot off the gas pedal, or he gets too cocky and confident, that's when JoJo starts to come on to his opponents when they least expect it. He's slow and steady, but sometimes slow and steady wins the race. And if Devin Haney takes him for granted at any point, and I suspect we're gonna have to see the later rounds, okay? He's gonna have to be consistent in those later rounds. If Haney takes his foot off the gas pedal, I guarantee you JoJo will cross that finish line before he does. And he'll do it in the most least expected manner, and he will gain momentum, and you won't be able to get it back. He's a solid fighter. He's got every punch in his arsenal, just like Haney, but like I said, not the most fast, the strongest, the explosive guy. He doesn't have all the sexy attributes, but he's consistent and he's steady. And I think that catches a lot of his opponents off guard. Okay, but luckily for not just Haney and it's Tank as well, seeing what happened to Tiafimo, I think that humbles them a little bit. It keeps them aware. They're both probably saying, you know what, we have to be on our game, okay? Because anything can happen. Anything can happen, especially against the opponents they're going up against this weekend. They're no slouches. Okay, so for Haney, but I do think Haney's going to pull out the victory. I think he'll get a win on the scorecards. I think it would be very beneficial for him to get a TKO or go for that TKO at the very least. Kind of did what he did in the Linares fight. Take some risks, take some chances, engage, okay, be fan friendly, because Tank and him are going to be making a claim to go for undisputed against Kambosos over in Australia for all the jewels. Maybe JoJo as well, who knows? But this is the time. I have no idea how long Mayweather is going to keep the muzzle on Tank, but he needs to take it off after tonight if Tank gets the victory in a spectacular, especially if he gets in a spectacular fashion. He needs to take that muzzle off, because now is the time. I don't know why everybody's chomping at the bit since Kambosos won the titles, because I don't think he's an easy fight for anybody. Okay, especially Tank. I don't think he's Kambosos is a walkover for Tank. But nonetheless, it seems like everybody sees an opportunity to grab all the jewels. So both of these guys need to make huge statements. And I think for Haney, I think he's going to come out strong. I think he's going to establish that beautiful jab he has, that beautiful, quick, crisp jab. But he needs to maintain focus towards the back end of the fight. And I think he'll gain control of the fight with that jab. He has like I said, every punch in his arsenal. He goes down to the body. He's got good footwork. He's got good speed. He's got good timing. And I even like Haney's inside fighting. I think that's one of the glaring differences between him and Tiafimo, especially when I saw him against Jorge Linares. He went on the inside. He got some work done. He doesn't operate from the Philly shell, which I'm fine with. He tends to square up a little bit more, rip to the body, and work from that. But I would say the only thing, I was very impressed with that Jorge Linares victory that Haney got, because Jorge Linares, I think he's a really good fighter, man. I know a lot of people don't think as highly as I do of him, but Jorge Linares can fight, man. He's a very good veteran. He's very wily, very slick. And I think if he pressed a little bit more, he probably could have won that fight. He probably could have won, but I know what Linares was trying to do. He was trying to be patient and wait for that perfect opportunity to land a big left hook or that sharp right hand he does, and he was probably hoping that he would get Haney out. But Haney's got some heart. He shows some grit and determination. That was a good little lesson for him, good little experience. But that being said, it did show a lot of holes in Haney's defense. Haney has good defense, but it's not like A1. He doesn't have the best head movement, you guys. It's more so defense with his footwork, in my opinion. But let's see. Maybe he shored some of that up since the Linares fight. Like I said, Linares showed that you can catch him with that left hook all night and check him. Or even the right hand, and that left hook eventually opens up the right hand. And I'll say this, JoJo, he throws great punches, man. Like I said, he has every punch in his arsenal. I don't know what punch he doesn't have. So for Haney, he's going to have to tighten up that Philly shell, man. He's going to have to tighten it up. He's gonna, the big thing is catching those left hooks with his right hand. The thing about that Philly shell defense, you guys, that shoulder roll, is it's also a lot about timing and positioning. We talk about timing and positioning for landing punches, but when you're doing that Philly shell and executing that defense, it's also about timing in terms of catching the punches and rolling them. Okay, you catch the jab, you roll across, you catch the hook, or maybe you duck under the hook. There's a big timing element to that, which I think a lot of guys who try to cop off of that Philly shell from Mayweather fail to understand the timing and positioning required and needed to execute it. So Haney's got everything you need, got all the attributes, but he needs to improve that. That left hook cannot land from JoJo, because if JoJo starts landing that left hook, that right hand's gonna follow up. Okay, but I think Haney's gonna have success. I think he's aware that he has to be on his game, seeing what happened to Tiafimo last week. Okay, but just a little bit differently. Tiafimo came into that fight emotional. I don't think that's going to be the issue with Haney. I think with Haney, it's just going to be maintaining his concentration through the through the latter part of the fight, you know, in the later rounds, the championship rounds, staying focused. But he showed against Jorge Linares, he was able to do that, and not just that, bite down on his mouthpiece and get after it. But, I mean, we saw with Teofimo Lopez and Nakatani, or we saw with Teofimo and Lomachenko, Teofimo was locked in for that fight, and then he goes into the freaking Kambosos fight, and he looks like a completely different fighter. So the same thing could happen to Haney, and I think he needs to be careful for different reasons. Be on his game for all 12 rounds. Try to go for that TKO in the latter part. It's not going to come easy with a guy like JoJo. He is no slouch, I'm telling you guys. But he needs to make it an exciting fight if he wants his name to be in the running for undisputed. So let's go to Tank versus Pitbull. Once again, I think it's kind of good for Tank that he saw what happened to Teofimo, because I think he'll be on his game. This is a very interesting matchup. I like Pitbull, man. I like a lot of things he does. He's still young and raw. I wouldn't sleep on him for the future, even if he loses. I like his pressure fighting style. He throws lots of hooks, good hooks to the body, mixes it up to the head, which is a great thing for a young fighter to be doing. I would say he needs to sharpen up his jab a little bit more and fight behind it instead of coming in without anything. But, I mean, look, I thought that Kambosos, he lacked the jab before, not because he didn't have it, but he lacked the jab because he just didn't throw it in his prior fights. Then he comes out against Teofimo Lopez and he's shooting a jab like he's fucking Ali or something. You know, or Larry Holmes, shooting a Larry Holmes jab. It was beautiful, a thing of beauty. So who knows, maybe Pitbull comes out and he establishes jab, keeps range, and works his way in. Okay, but that's going to be the big thing for Pitbull. He needs to fight behind his jab because he can't just walk in. Now, it's going to be a little bit hard because Tank is a southpaw. So that jab, actually, I'll say this, you guys, take back. If there's any fight where Pitbull doesn't really need to be pumping his jab constantly, this could be the one. But I do want to see him kind of probe with that lead hand a little before he works his way in. You know, but you can't just jump in there on Tank and think there's not going to be any consequences. Pitbull does lack a little bit of head movement. I would like to see him, you know, just a little subtle head movement. You don't got to have Pernell Whitaker type head movement, but just like little subtle movements with your head goes a long way, especially as a pressure fighter. And maybe probing with that lead hand just a little bit to find the distance, because Tank is somewhat of a slick fighter, very explosive, and he will make you pay as you're walking in. And but beautiful combinations to the body, beautiful pressure, and he'll throw hooks to the head. He gets a little bit loopy, but I think it kind of works for him. But ultimately, I think stylistically, this is gonna favor Tank. I think Tank, and this will be a big opportunity for Tank to really work on his boxing IQ and the ability to box off the back foot and some of his defense, because he's gonna have a guy who's gung-ho coming forward. At least I think he'll be coming forward, pressing forward in terms of Pitbull. It'll be a great opportunity to kind of work on stepping back, fighting off his back foot, thinking, and looking to land counters. And then when he gets control of the fight, I'd like to see Tank kind of move forward. My thing about Tank, there's still a lot of unanswered questions. I think he has all the potential of the world. I think he can be a great fighter, but I still have some questions for Tank, and that's because we haven't seen him against the best competition or top flight fighters. But I think the big key factor for Tank is gonna be that left uppercut, man. It's a thing of beauty. I think Pitbull is gonna step in, especially with that high guard, and he's not gonna see that left uppercut coming. And I think Tank is going to be able to land that thing and get Pitbull out. But once again, this is not a fight that Tank should be taken for granted, because if Pitbull comes out and he throws multiple combinations, hooks to the body and to the head, it could catch Tank off guard, man, because we have seen Tank can be touched. He can be touched. He was touched by Leah Santa Cruz. He was touched by Barrios. So he can be hit. And a lot of guys say, you know, he's kind of like a Canelo type of mentality to where he kind of waits to establish his game and then he pours onto you later. I don't know about that, you guys. I think that Tank, he's a good boxer, but I think he has a lot to learn. I don't think his IQ is as high as some people think. I'm not saying he can't develop it, but I notice with Tank, when he starts getting touched up, he starts getting frustrated. Now and he starts pressing forward, looking for the fight and looking to land big punches. Now, fortunately for him, he's so damn talented. It works for him. You know, it works for him. But I know when Tank starts to get outboxed because he starts getting very aggressive. When he feels like he's getting outboxed, he starts to press forward. But once again, it works for him because he's very powerful, he's fast, and he's got some defensive abilities. I don't think it's A1 once again, but he's got some slick fighting abilities. Tank is a project, and he still needs to prove that he, like I'll say this. Let's say he gets a spectacular knockout, which I'm predicting. I think he's going to line up for that fight in Australia with Kambosos. Okay? Because now if I'm Kambosos, I think I match up better against Tank than I do Haney. You know, I think with Tank, he'll be able to kind of box him. Okay? And remember, Kambosos has experience putting multiple rounds, not just multiple, almost, they say 100, over 100 rounds with Manny Pacquiao, one of the best southpaws you can go up against. Okay, that's gonna pay off against a guy like Tank, who's a southpaw. Okay, he's not gonna be unfamiliar. That's not gonna be uncharted territory stylistically for Kambosos. Okay, so you know, I think Kambosos lines up very nice with Tank. I'm not saying he beats Tank, but I think he matches up very well with him. Plus, I think it'll be more of a fan-friendly, stylistic matchup. And so I think this is going to be a good opportunity for Tank to work on some of his boxing skills, especially his defense. When you got a guy like Pitbull, like I said, he's going to move forward. He's going to be throwing lots of hooks, lots of loopy punches. Tighten up your defense. Work on stepping back and countering and get this guy out, and then line yourself up for a big matchup with Kambosos for all the jewels. So those are my predictions. I'm going to stay conservative with this one. I'm not going to say there's going to be any upsets because I think these guys, these young guns who have all the potential in the world, saw what happened to Teofimo, and they're going to be on their game. Not only that, they have a huge opportunity to line up with Kambosos for undisputed, and a lot of guys, you know, they're kind of sleeping on Kambosos, so they're excited to get an opportunity. So Haney by decision, and I got Tank by KO. Okay, rounds for the KO for Tank. Man, I legitimately think it can come at any time. I'm going to say it's probably going to happen anywhere from rounds 1 to 8 with Tank. I think it can happen early because of the risk that Pitbull is going to take. He comes forward, he's going to put a lot of pressure, and I think because of that, the knockout can come from anywhere from round 1 to 8, you know. And in terms of 8 to 12, I think if it gets to that far, then I think we're going to see it get to the scorecards. But yeah, I got Tank with a knockout anywhere from rounds 1 to 8 because legitimately I think it can come that way, just based off of the aggression of Pitbull. And if Tank can't get him out within the first 4 rounds, I think he'll break him down with pot shots to the body with the left cross or a left uppercut, and then I think he'll get Pitbull out that way. But do not sleep on JoJo and Pitbull. I like these guys, man. I really do. I wish I could make more of an argument and a story for them, but like I said, I've been busy with a lot of stuff, but we'll get back on track for the new year. I'm setting up a lot of things. But tell me what you think. Comment below. Who do you got winning both of these fights? And who do you think should go up against Kambosos, depending on what happens tonight? It's your boy Havoc for Final Round. Get at me, you guys.